Still with me is federal former prosecutor and former DOJ senior attorney Tammy Allison. Tammy, that was key testimony for the defendant. This is his passenger who was in the vehicle with him when they allege that this truck full of teenagers starts yelling racial epithets and throwing beer cans and hanging out of the window and trying to run them off the road. How powerful do you think her testimony came across, of what you watched at least?
I think her testimony was very powerful. I think not only the way that she testified, and she was very specific in her reasonable belief of fear that they were going to run them off of the road, but also visually, I think her testimony was very strong. This is a car full of 5 white teenagers in a truck that are chasing this defendant down with who is a black defendant, with his white girlfriend in the car. So it kind of makes it more believable, but that they're, screaming these racial slurs towards him and chasing them down, and the Snapchat messages coupled with the testimony. It all seems very strong in terms of this defendant getting immunity in the form of the Georgia Stand Your Ground law.
Let's take a listen to some of the cross and what the prosecution brought out and get your thoughts on the other side.
You didn't ask Mark to pull a gun and start shooting, did you?
Mm-hmm.
All right. In fact, when Mark pulled his gun, you told law enforcement that you told him not to shoot.
I don't know if I recall saying that. I remember saying no. I was scared. It's a very scary situation. But I don't recall saying don't shoot.
Him pulling a gun made you scared and fear for your life, correct?
No, I was already scared. I have someone swerving into my lane.
You've never testified or told law enforcement or anyone that you saw anybody in the truck with a gun, did you?
No.
The only person who saw with a gun that night was Mark.
I didn't know if they had a gun or not. They were hanging out the truck. It was dark.
You testified earlier, you said that they were throwing their hands. Did you ever tell your friend Mallory Searcy that they were making racial hand gestures?
I don't recall saying exactly that either.
Okay. All right. And your testimony right now is that you don't remember telling Mark not to shoot his gun.
If you have something that says otherwise, I would love to read it.
The prosecutor also asked about the racial slurs. She says she didn't remember hearing that, but Marcus told her that they were yelled at them in the car. She was also asked on cross, Tammy, about a former statement. She had previously said that her boyfriend, Marcus, was asking about whether or not she had dated the guys in that truck, which makes me sort of think maybe that's what the prosecutor is trying to use as motive for this defendant, to want to be the aggressor. Maybe why they brought charges. Maybe it's a window insight. What did you make of that cross and the things that were brought out?
I thought the cross by the prosecution was extremely harsh given this defendant. Her demeanor is very calm. Her credibility seems super strong. So it kind of just makes the prosecution look silly to go after her that way, because the way that she even answered the questions that the prosecutor was asking her was very strong. She was very consistent. She remained calm. She did not have any obvious emotional response to the harshness of the questions that the prosecutor was asking. She actually answered those questions like a perfect witness, describing how it was dark outside. There's no way for her to know for sure what was going on. But what she did know is that she reasonably believed that they were in danger. She also testified that if, in fact, she made any contradictory statements, she would love to see it. And we all know that if, in fact, a prosecutor or even a defendant is asking a witness a question and they're saying they don't remember or don't recall, that prosecutor should have been ready with that statement to be like, well, let me refresh your memory and slap that piece of paper down for her. And the prosecutor did not do that. So that's a win for the defense.
Yeah, great points, Tammy Allison. Thank you so much for all of that. Still to come, 90 Day Fiancé star Jeffrey Paschal. He was